Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Summit for Europe. We are live here as Alliance gets ready to take on Starks, formerly known as Four Anchors WinteR. And Four Anchors, or, well, Stark, excuse me, are on an 11-game losing streak. They looked okay in that last match, but they did not walk away with a win. And Alliance, with a win here, would knock Stark out of the Summit 4 and continue their run in the lower bracket.
They look like a ship without a pilot the last game.
Well, let's see if they can find one now. The draft is progressing rather quickly, guys, so we'll just hop into it right away. Interesting stuff here, WinteR, as Darkseer slips through. He slipped through the first stage last game, but last time he was ignored. This time grabbed nice and early, and Alliance even allows Stark to get the Wyvern. Almost always you see teams either ban one of these heroes or deny pick it, but Stark get both.
They have a good argument about that though. They pick the Tusk in reply of the Darkseer, and they have their Radiant Shadowfiend. So I wouldn't say it's all... Maybe in the last patch you can argue you have to deny it because Wyvern plus Darkseer is so strong in the last patch. But this patch I think you can actually forgo that and go for something like the Shadowfiend, Radiant and Tusk. I think the trade-off they actually got from the first two picks is still alright for Alliance.
Draft now proceeding. Stark are going to ban the Prophet in the second stage. Bulldog didn't have like his most spectacular explosive Prophet game ever, but still felt like he was a bit of a nuisance, and Stark just want to make him play something different, I guess, more than anything. So TA now banned out by Alliance. Stark definitely want that big damage dealer. The Ember, the other big partner for Darkseer, he was banned first phase, so
Spirit Breaker.
They'll have to do something different. Yeah, Spirit Breaker. We've seen a little Night Stalker Darkseer dual lane at times as well.
Yeah, those two heroes would be nice. Plus, Night Stalker is a hero that provides vision, and it's very good against a Shadowfiend type of hero where you want to keep focusing on jungling. You want to have someone that can actually focus on shutting down the vision and giving vision when he's doing his jungle. A Bounty or Night Stalker would be nice to their lineup. But Spirit Breaker is also... You can consider Spirit Breaker vision sometimes when he gets the charge on the SF, so you can actually lock target on him and you know where he's going towards the jungle.
Fourth ban for Alliance, and then they'll have the first pick coming into phase 2. They go Shadowfiend, which we've seen S4 actually playing for the most part for Alliance.
I don't think Loda plays the Shadowfiend at all. I think it's only S4 that plays the hero. So
bit different from say like an EG, where if it's more of a farming mid, normally Arteezy will take it and they'll switch Sumail over the safe lane. But Alliance tend to stick more with their laning assignments.
And they never put Bulldog on the Tusk as well. So with the first two picks of Alliance, you pretty much know that the Tusk is the support. SF is going to be S4's hero for sure. So you have a better idea on how they're actually going to run their lines, their lanes.
The one exception with Alliance is I think if they run Naga or Alk mid, or if they run Naga or Alk, it's normally Loda who plays and he will go mid. But outside of that, it's almost always S4 in the mid lane.
Yeah, good ban. Because Spirit Breaker would actually put a lot of pressure on the Shadowfiend. So that was a good ban from Alliance. So it's going to allow the Shadowfiend to be much more confident in his laning phase without the Spirit Breaker for Stark.
Yeah, also, of course, the Broodmother ban, definitely a good choice.
Brood is always a good ban.
And they actually, it's interesting though, because they do have Darkseer. He's considered one of the best heroes to lane against a Brood, but it's still... At some point, he wants to leave his lane, and you just can never do that against the Brood.
You know what? We learned in the recent weeks that dealing with the Spiderlings is not the counter. Killing the Brood is the counter, and Darkseer doesn't kill the Brood.
Yeah. Well, nothing they have kills the Brood. Lion will be grabbed up now by Stark.
They have more disable, and they have a combo with the vacuum into Impale, and Alliance is going for their sort of 5-man. They have a lot of heals though with the healing ward and the Voodoo Restoration from Witch Doctor. And very 5-man, they can be a very 5-man.
I think you ban Lone Druid 5th here.
They have a
the healing ward with the bear, plus you've got the mech carrier and the Voodoo Restoration.
Oh yeah,
and you've already picked your support, so you can't pick an AA at this point.
And the other thing is like Lone Druid, you don't really want to go off lane. And with the Juggernaut, they can actually do maybe a pressure lane with Tusk and Witch Doctor, and you can actually give the bear a 1v1 matchup.
Because I definitely think you ban Lone Druid here. Even though Alliance might not actually want it, it's like still a very scary pick for me.
Okay, so they want to have spam to be able to defend against the 5-man, because it's clear to see that Alliance wants to be grouping up and taking fights, taking towers early, just similar as the last game. They have a very similar game plan but different heroes.
Bulldog never plays the Tusk, right? I don't think I've seen
No,
him.
he doesn't play the
Don't
Tusk.
think I've seen him
I
on
actually
Tusk.
would. I actually could see. You talk about Lone Joe, but I could see still something like an Undying work for them. Undying plus Tusk, Witch Doctor, Juggernaut, own your lanes, get your mech on Shadowfiend, and push. You can still run that idea with an Undying. It could be still as good as getting a Lone Druid.
That's the nice thing if you're Alliance, is teams naturally want to ban these classic Bulldog heroes, but they don't have to run them. They can mix things up.
Yep. So with the Quas Rex Invoker, they would actually have a lot of spam.
No. Okay. Nyx Assassin. 4 in heroes. What a game for Nyx. Nyx,
Yeah.
Nyx.
He's very well. He's gonna have a. I'm not sure how much of a good time he's gonna have in the lane to get level. So because Nyx is not really, like, I don't think you can leave him alone. So I think the
They'll
Tusk,
probably dual lane him.
the Tusk will probably be helping, because if you leave the Nyx alone, he's gonna have a very tough time getting experience. So
Pretty annoying dual lane though.
I think the Tusk will probably get a shards block at the first wave for the Nyx to actually help him, or he would just be in the lane entirely to help the Nyx with his experience. So they
Alright.
have the Swan plus the Vacuum and the Iron Shell with Darkseer. Decent combo there, and with the Curse as well.
Yeah, Stark have a sick team fight if they get it off.
If they get it off. And
If they get it off.
If they don't, go in when they have 1 hero or 2 heroes down.
All right. Well, could be an explosive game for Bulldog. Mana burn's really scary here.
Yeah, but like the issue with the heroes is never it's never with the spells. It's always with his laning phase, because Nyx is always weak in the laning phase. Even
But
with
he can have help because Loda doesn't really need that much
yeah,
help.
that's why I was saying that the Tusk would actually need to help the Nyx in the laning phase to actually.
But I think he definitely can. So
yeah, to actually help him get his footing into the game, because when you fall behind as Nyx, you cannot jungle, and you suck at roaming before you have your level 6, so you're gonna have a tough time.
mm-hmm.
The only way you can get your levels is from the lane, so you.
But they're so good at ganking in the mid game. You've got the Tusk to initiate. Jug can run in and get some easy kills. Nyx, sneaky little bugger that he is, can wrap around behind you and cause pain.
Come on, if Nyx is not sneaky, it defeats the concept of the hero.
It's literally the sneaky Nyx assassin.
Oh, that's like, you have to chip in for that. That's a meme.
That's a meme? That's a team name. I'm shouting out my boy Fluff and Stuff. It's nah, dude. IX Mike, where are you at? He's actually not. He's no longer a Dota 2 player. He's left us for Smash Brothers Melee. He's changed. IX Mike has.
So we see both of the supports from each team TPing to lane to get an early observer to scout out whether the offlaners are coming in to actually place wards. And if you have a Lion level depending support, I think this is important for you to do, because you want to make sure that you are able to deward so you can keep pulling and getting experience. So definitely a really important move for Stark. And for Alliance, their supports are not so level dependent, but they do still want to see where you actually place the ward so they can actually kill the offlaner. So Arcade's going to spot it out. Easy deward, easy 50 gold.
Oh yeah.
Nice guy.
Give it to Nuts. He
give it
wants
to
his
Nuts.
boots.
So Nuts has skilled his eye shots at level 1, so I think he's actually going to try and block the off lane to actually secure some experience for the Nyx assassin, for Bulldog. Bounty rune should be 1 apiece, and I'm curious to see whether Nymphy actually goes for. Remember the other day when we saw an Invoker? He's a Quas Rex Invoker, but he goes for an early point in Exalt for the alacrity in the lane.
Invoker just struggles so badly in the 1v1 matchups. This build helps a bit, but I don't know. I feel like almost every Invoker I've seen as of late still loses his lane pretty badly.
Didn't we see a good Invoker? There was one game, that was the only game we saw where he went for the early Exalt for the alacrity that he actually did well in the lane.
Someone ran him in the qualifiers, now it's escaping me.
Yeah, there was definitely one game, because we were actually casting that game, probably.
But with that said, he's up against the Shadow Fiend who's rushing a bottle, so Nymphy with definitely superior damage here. 18 more base or total damage, I should say.
He even has the numbers advantage with the Wyvern here. Alex is going to help him do some parries onto S4 as well. S4 gets the 3 creeps. That is actually a huge victory for S4. He's able to get all the creeps, and maybe with this race as well. Damn, well played.
There's your bottle.
That is so well played by S4. He gets all the creeps despite of the pressure from Valix. So essentially, you wasted all your time as the Wyvern there.
I'm curious to see how much of an issue will Bulldog have in the offlane, because he's gone for the double mango build, Winter. This is 5 passive regen a second with the stout shield. Very durable.
And he's able to actually he got a really good block though. He didn't get help from the Tusk at all, but he just used his hero to block, and he was able to get the creeps very near to his tower, so he got a lot of experience from that.
So I do want to mention K-Pop Tosis was on the case, and apparently Empire ran it against Alliance in the qualifiers.
So it is indeed going to be the Alacrity.
Oh, 4SC ran it against Empire, excuse me. So,
okay, so
they're the Invoker pickers here.
It's indeed going to be the Alacrity early on, so
and then probably into Quas.
Quasvex with 1 point in Exort.
And apparently Boogie was the one who played it last time, unless our stats database is incorrect. And that's never happened. Never.
Never in the history of Dota that we actually got our stat base wrong.
So Bulldog did already eat a single mango. I'm not sure why, to be honest.
Misclick.
Yeah, I don't think he's really needed to use any spells here.
He actually misclicked. I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention, but there's usually no reason for
Even if you can use the mana, there's no reason to activate it unless you're about to die and need the stun to live.
Yep. True. Can't really argue about that. Probably just a misclick. You know, it happens now and then, so.
He's nervous. He doesn't have Alfredo to back him up.
He's sneaky.
So yeah, keeping eyes on our cores here. Looks like the Sven's free farming safe lane. Juggernaut doing pretty well now that the lane fully abandoned. So
mid lane.
Have an easy time of it. They are making their move though. Nemphy caught out, dropping the Sunstrike directly on top of himself, but it's a bit too much tank for Nuts. He will survive.
This is the issue of the Darkseer going to the jungle though. I don't really agree with him going into the jungle this early, because it allows the Tusk to be so mobile in the lane. Like,
he doesn't have to help bottom. They had a tri-lane bottom.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to help bottom. Even if you have a tri-lane bottom, I think, because he basically what he did was he dropped 2 iron shells at level 1 and he went straight to jungle. He didn't even try to maybe secure himself level 2 in the lane. He just basically did not try. He gave up and he went to the jungle. So it puts the mid player, especially when you are playing Invoker, you don't have any way of defending yourself early.
And he's got nothing here. No lane ward, no.
Oh, it's actually an Exort Invoker.
No support. And it is a full Exort Invoker. Ooh, shards.
That would have been another kill there.
But you can see the threat there, and then the natural response for
I think he should,
Nemphy is for things to get in his head.
He should really be going back to the bottom lane to pressure, so he actually elevates some of the pressure from Nemphy, because the Tusk has to go back to bottom if the Darkseer is at bottom. So right now, Trixie is still jungling, and they're having the Wyvern from Valex actually trying to defend against any potential ganks that Nemphy would be thrown at from Alliance. And the Wyvern is still level 1 though, so he needs at least a point in cold and race to be able to help.
Uh-oh. Bulldog caught out. Initial stun. Sunstrike followed. There's the Stormbolt as well, but he's still got a Carapace as well as a stun, and he will just walk away. Don't eat your mango, buddy. Hang on to that thing. Mango save lives. And he will. So we're not really feeling this Exort Invoker yet, Winter. No Sunstrike kills. Hasn't really put too much pressure on the map.
It's not entirely his fault though. I just felt like the play from the Darkseer, like the decision making from the team to just put the Darkseer into the jungle was not optimal at all. I mean, yeah, you get a lot of farm on the Darkseer. He has 20 CS right now, but I think the trade-off was Invoker got pressured, so he gets less from the Invoker. So you are basically taking the Invoker's farm and putting it on the Darkseer. Is that actually worth it? I'm not sure.
Well, now he may go bottom. TP available, and he TP's on the tower. Loda not yet level 6, but he's about to get it. Trixie will have to be very cautious about the tower dive.
3 points in spin though,
and
so.
Yeah, 3 points in spin, and he's got the mango, so he can go for the combo. This is a very dangerous timing for Trixie. They did rotate 2 on the mid lane, but just keeping my eyes on Mr. Loda here.
Yeah, one more thing as well against Juggernaut. If the Darkseer is always in the lane, you maybe force the Juggernaut to use an early healing mod to actually remove some of the HP loss from the Iron Shell Harris, so it doesn't allow him to have that mana for the double combo, like the spin and the Omni Stab. Oh, here we go. The shards doesn't actually connect.
Or looking to walk away. They do have a Sunstrike available. He's getting low. Nemphy, let's see if he's on point with this one. No, the snowball comes out. And S4 goes offensive with the raise. Now he's really committed. Got him. No, he just missed. Looked like that one was going to clip
Oh,
S4.
that would have been a kill. That would have been a kill. S4 exactly had 225 HP after that right click from Invoker. That would have been a very, very big kill for them.
Well, with Invoker Sunstrikes, it feels very much this is a hero that if you miss them early, he really suffers in the mid game. Not like a Pudge. Yeah, you miss a hook, no big deal. He's not your carry, but this is a mid Invoker who will be asked to do a lot in the team fights.
Yeah, so far the Nyx pick has actually worked out really well for Alliance. He is almost level 6. And he did this without jungling, whereas the Darkseer is level 6 with jungling, so he had to pay a price for not being in the
And
lane.
the Nyx is full health. I don't think Bulldog's even gone base once. Just that passive regen, a tango here or there, and the mango regen making the difference.
A mango a day keeps the fountain away, so boys, get the mango.
Mangoes bring all the boys to the yard, WinteR, didn't you know?
That's why you get multiple mangoes now. You get 2.
Oh, nice carapace there. Bulldog just denying Boogie, who's only got it for the level 1 stun, and now they're going to double TP in behind the tower. Nope, those get cancelled.
Yeah, Juggernaut was TPing in, and the moment he realized that it's probably even better for Bulldog not to pop the carapace there, so they would actually dive him, and Juggernaut was going to TP in to actually get the return kill.
Yeah.
If
just your natural reaction, like, oh, I can carapace dodge this.
If they actually wanted or intended to actually bait the Sven into putting himself in a bad position.
So it's going to Blade Fury here. Good way to deal with the Ion Chill damage as well as just clear out the wave.
And we see 3 points in Great Cleave from the Sven. And
pure farming build.
Usually when that happens, you have a lot of stacking. And because the Darkseer went to the jungle, he couldn't stack the Ancients. That is also another thing to point out. Because when you're actually doing this and you have the Darkseer on the offlane and he can't get experience from the lane, he's actually able to stack Ancients. But because he went to the jungle, none of that happened.
Well, he is bottom now, but it feels the damage may have already been done. His Nuts been getting a lot of farm here. Level 4. Catching up in terms of his early progression. Oh, the cast will bounce to Trixie bounces back again. Loda did have Omni Slash, but Trixie, that 7 armor base, should be tanky enough to survive an Omni. So Loda hangs on to it, and the last hit will go to S4. Mech well underway. Still no towers down. Bulldog even hitting level 6. Everything looking great here for Alliance through the early lanes as they already out to a 1-0 lead. Look to extend this series to a 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, and the moment they want to gank with the Nyx, they're going to be able to gank plus a pick, plus maybe even push a tower because, like you mentioned, the mech is coming out from Shadowfiend. So their 5-man potential is there. It's coming online very, very soon. So we will be seeing a movement from the Tusk, I think, with the Nyx soon with the smoke. So you get a kill and you get a
That's
tower.
pretty terrifying. A snowballing cockroach with spikes on its back running right at you. Not fun for Stark with a lot of squishy backliners here. The Wyvern, the Lion, the Invoker even.
Madagascar cockroach, the big ones.
Is that the biggest breed of cockroach?
You should
Are you a cockroach connoisseur?
You should ask K-pop about that. I don't know.
He just made a face like, what? This is not in my job description.
Stats for the biggest cockroach in the world.
They lead with Bulldog and they move towards Nymphy. Just got his Midas at least, but might be quickly going back to the well. First auto attack, follow up impales there. He does not have Ghost Wall queued up, and with that, gonna have a tough time getting away. 5 seconds, and the Sigil not enough damage.
Fine, they didn't have enough
no
damage.
Walrus Punch yet.
And Nyx was, they probably get a kill if Nyx had
the level 4 impale, yeah.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but they didn't really have enough there to kill the Invoker. He's fairly tanky with the Quas region.
8 centimeters, not that bad. That's how big they are. Largest roaches in the world. I'm glad that we're here to have a nice little entomology class. That was fun. Yeah. Yeah, entomology, not to be confused with etymology. The study of gross bugs.
The study of pests.
You know, one of my friends when I was a kid, his dad was an entomologist. Yeah, he would study them for like medical research. So he'd always have some creepy crawlers.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
you don't have to study it anymore. It's gone.
Stark have mastered the art of the bug. They finished one off. Nuts was searching for the counterplay here with the shards.
Man, when you say the
will
bug,
not connect.
I think about the movie Starship Troopers where they killed the bugs.
Ugh. Classic movie, but those bugs were gross.
Is that actually a roach?
Here comes S4. Say hello to Daddy. Big Requiem coming out. Pounds down Nymphy. Watch Trixie as well. The second raise. Oh, just going to be out of range, but still Trixie will end up going out. Nope, one more auto tech. Ake snags the kill, and that's with the mech now complete. Gustav making the plays.
With the appropriate runes. What a surprise.
He's always got the right rune for any situation, Winter.
No, I remember we had a stat before, and Nat is the player that picks up the most runes.
They mech up nuts as OKC looks to engage. Has no Finger of Death available. I believe it was used on the kill top earlier. Now Nuts rolling forward. The Rays will finish off a Cold Embraced Lion, and they hunt onto Valix. Man, look at the damage. Just so low on his armor. Only the single point in presence of the Dark Lord required.
Yeah, I was saying that I remember we had a stat. I think Nat is the player that picks up the most runes. It's not as far.
That was like TI3 era though, wasn't it? That was a long time ago.
Maybe it was a long time ago, yeah.
That was with the orange at TI3. Net and Extinct would get all the runes. Mainly Net, but occasionally Extinct as well. But that was also when you had to guess the rune. That was before the double rune spawn. Now I'm sure the stats are kind of...
Oh yeah, because that's 2 runes, yeah. I agree.
Like normally each team will get a rune, so I guess that stat lost a little meaning.
The only stat that has a meaning is Gustav getting his haste rune. The probability of Gustav getting a haste rune. Oh yeah, another good rune for him. Why not?
Yum yum yum. Now they can push. Or maybe they gank. Okay, Sia doing a spot of dewarding here, but the snowball should find him. Alliance has the ward uphill. They roll directly in. Doesn't even bother with a raise. Just a couple of auto attacks chunking down that squishy little line.
They just need to make sure that they drag the game now and don't give up too many important kills, because the Sven has actually just cleared a big ancient stack before. It was probably a 4 stack, 3 or 4 stack, with his skill build. It's easy to clear it out. So he's going for the greedy build, the Helm of Dawn into SMY. So we'll see whether it actually pays off for him. So Sentry comes down for detecting that annoying roach, which is actually at top lane.
Stark will take the bottom tower while Alliance move in on top. Leading 5-1 at 13 minutes. They have a very comfy 4 big gold lead.
I have this feeling that they can actually force the high ground though, because they have a Midas on Invoker.
Well, if they get a pick here, and they might get more than that. OKC and Alex both in a
Where's the sentries?
Compromised position. They have one, but they haven't dropped yet. Oh, hello, Bulldog. How you doing, buddy? Quick Hex. They have a Finger ready, but they're not going to commit on him as Loda's rushing and Omni Slash available. Snowballing forward. Sunstrike's going to connect on Bulldog, but it looks like it was split between 2 heroes. The mech's there. Did commit the Omni for that quick Lion kill, and now they turn on Trixie. Blade Fury rolling forward. Loda doesn't have the phase boots. They were on cooldown.
Level 1 vacuum.
Back off.
It's level 1 vacuum. I'm not sure if this is a good idea for them. Even if they land the combo.
Score will tank a stun, but it's only a level 1 Stormbolt. Hardly even tickles him, and Stark gonna struggle to defend here. Still no Winter's Curse. The level 1 vacuum. I honestly think Alliance don't even need to back, despite using all those spells.
I'm even surprised that Stark wants to try and fight this. I don't think they can actually fight this at all.
I feel like they have to.
I think they need to just get levels though. They need level 6 on the Wyvern. They need more levels on Vacuum. These are the 2 key things they need.
Take down the tower. Alliance in great shape here. Courier now flapping out, delivering a couple of magic wands, and well, for Alliance, Winter. Full map control. They've shut down Stark. The Sven not really farming all that quickly. He's a full 3k down on the enemy Shadow Fiend, mainly due to the lack of kills and tower gold.
And it's map control. He's just mainly farming as well. Like Shadow Fiend got a lot of gold from towers.
And even if you get farmed, you're fighting into Requiem's damage reduction, the Sigil, the Death Ward. I guess not so big of a deal versus Warcry. There's a lot of ways to kite and control the Sven.
That's a good point. But at the same time, the Sven has very much of a lot of control from his team. There's Lion, there's a Curse, there's obviously Darkseer that provides the vacuum wall. Invoker has some disable if he gets more levels, so he has a lot of tools to help him do damage onto the Alliance team. So I could see the Sven being a Superman hero that he can actually 1v5 this game if they actually get enough farm on the Sven.
Bogey could be the one caught out here. We're about to walk into S4. S4 gets caught by the God Strength, but managed to pop the mech in time. And now the Death Ward comes through. Boogie, even with the Warcry armor, still starting to take a lot of damage. The Walrus Punch comes through. He hangs on for now, courtesy of the Cold Embrace, and now looks to run away. The Surge there from Trixie. They'll get him out, but not so lucky as the Lion. Deafening Blast just to try and slow down the pursuit, but it's a low-level Deafening Blast, and Boogie should be the next casualty aboard. No, the raise from S4 misses. Blade Fury will end him anyway. Omni Slash also available. Trixie in danger. It's a level 1 Omni. Will they have the firepower? Snowball's going to come in. Oh, it doesn't quite catch, but the shards also failing. Looked like he could have gotten him there, but just off the mark. That's okay. S4 literally runs him down with auto tech. Sanjin Yasha, all that's needed here. Alliance with 3 more kills. 2,200 gold swinging their way. 9-1 the score. Virtually a shutout as they continue to lay into Stark.
Man, I'm not sure why they're still trying to. I mean, that wasn't them trying to take a fight. It was actually them getting caught out, actually. Going too out.
It's tough against the Nyx and the Tusk. You go off split pushing or trying to farm on your own, you're very likely getting ganked and punished. Hell, even under their own base, they're getting ganked and punished.
They need to call in the pest people to actually...
The exterminators?
Yeah, the pest exterminator.
I don't see an exterminator here. I see a squishy Sven that's easily locked down. Who would your exterminator of choice be?
Batman?
You want to trade one of their heroes for Batrider? Not sure that's fair, Winter. That would be kind of an interesting Dota mode if you had like tag team mode. You know, or you can like each player has 2 heroes and they can just swap them out. Like pro wrestling style.
If that ever
I'd be down with that.
If that ever happens, I'm just gonna say Osfrog.
There'll probably be some interesting combos there. But Alliance now into the Roshan pit. They'll work on the big boy.
If that actually happens,
yeah.
I'm gonna do tag team with Batrider and Centaur. I lasso, I swap Centaur in, I cast Stampede, I swap.
I swap back to Bat and continue dragging them. That would add some really interesting micro elements to the game as well. Just being able to quickly swap between 2 heroes. S4 will grab the Aegis now. Tower was denied top in the meanwhile by Loda, who is currently scouted by Dire Vision. As they swing back to try and punish him, but Trixie not a hero that can just initiate on his own and get the job done. With the Hex, they might be able to kill Loda, and he Blade Furies first!
You're slow.
OKC was expecting him to be running down the lane, but he was actually running towards the Secret Shop. Now they drop a ward, but rotation inbound. They got to get the hell out, and they got to do so quickly. Boogie and Valak sticking around, a little bit of hesitation. One going to get caught by a cask. It will be your double damage Sven. Very durable, very tanky. But Alliance with a lot of stuns. They may try to roll up the cliff here. Oh, Nuts didn't have the vision. And it looks like everybody from Stark will narrowly escape. But they're 5 top. Do they just go for the high ground? No outer towers. Very slow split push from Stark.
They have Aegis, so why not? They just want to end the game before the Sven gets very hard to deal with. I think if the Sven actually has maybe another 5 minutes to farm, Stark actually has a good chance to come back into the game. So they actually purchase a Blink on Invoker. I think he's their hope of defending their base with his combo. They use the Tornado into the Meatball plus Deafening Blast. Has to do a lot of work in this.
It's a really weak Tornado, though. He's got the level 1 Wex.
That's why he has the Blink to position himself.
That's why he's got the Vacuum, I guess. But that also not maxed. Does Alliance breach the base and begin
Man, Invoker is not
smacking the tower?
Oh, his TP is on cooldown. Damn.
6 seconds. Not that far off of being able to join the fight, but still a lot of damage done here. Tower chipped down. Valak's moving forward. Still no WinteR's Curse at 19 minutes into the game. Ay. Stark, they're fighting 4v5 at best. And S4 feels like 3 heroes at this point. It's a man in front, smacking away at the tower, just daring Stark to walk in on him. They have a Sven stun. They'll let that first one fly, but again, it's only a stalling tactic. And now a BKB purchased by S4. It's in his stash. Not even worried about whether it's delivered or not for this particular siege. He'll raise down the wave. He'll take that gold as well. And then back on the melee racks, which will also easily be his. Trixie trying for the deny there, but unable to get it. Alliance, a free lane of racks.
How are they meant to fight this, LD? Without the curse?
Even with the curse, I don't know. But without it, no chance.
Damn. I didn't even realize he's still level 5, 20 minutes.
Tough lanes for Stark.
This has come back to the result of them trying to defend the top lane. Remember, they were trying so hard, they committed so much time. They could have used that time to get levels and experience on all their heroes.
They're gonna find Boogie. Stun to start. Does not have a BKB, just the Ogre Club. And Boogie also lucky to Byrak. They have a Walrus Punch a creep up in the air.
He got killed by the neutral.
And the neutrals get the kill, but still Sven's on the sideline for 50 seconds. They're also going to clear out the stack. They push in mid, and I think Alliance will go straight down mid for that second lane of Rex.
Okay.
Still no BKB on S4. Somebody let this damn man use the courier. Jesus.
Game is over. Soon. Don't worry, he doesn't need his BKB.
A bold prediction, WinteR. I don't think I'm going to take the bet on that one.
Sure, you can. I'm gonna welcome you to take the bet if you want to.
No. I don't want to lose any more bets to you. Alliance now working away, hacking. Slowly but surely. Valix finally gets level 6 at 21 minutes into the game. But even if he curses, there's just so much defensive capability here for Alliance. The cast to bounce through, the Aegis, the healing ward, level 2. They are going to curse Loda and try to commit on him, but he gets pushed kind of back out of the way of some of the nuke damage. Now Blade Furies and turns. Boogie running in through the wall, where S4 unwinds the Requiem. He's also going to counter-initiate. Nuts jumped in deep. Omni Slash bounces through. Beautiful spread here from Stark as they all manage to stay alive. Barely. Just barely. The Witch Doctor keeping everyone in fighting shape. And Bulldog, he wants some kills. He wants some gold. He gets nothing. Boogie, alive and comfortable, will surge back to safety. Sunstrike again is going to connect. They blow up a second here. The Nyx down, but just hit the Rax Alliance. If you want your second lane, the option is yours. Though S4 walks into the wall, he's going to pay for this a bit. Apparently not. They may be able to hold this one. Aki now stunned to the wrong side of the wall, stunned again, and will end up dropping. Good hold from Stark, all things considered. 3 heroes down.
That was with the availability of the Winter's Curse.
Oh, S4.
He's waiting for the Aegis to
Got
expire.
Aegis. Wants to fight this for a bit longer. Goes
He's
on.
He's going to lose his Aegis
in
a moment. He's going to lose it.
Let's see, can he get a kill before that happens? They engage onto Loda. Raze is coming out from S4. He's basically a raid boss of this fight, fighting against all 5 heroes. Actually 4. Excuse me, Darkseer's still dead. He never got his BKB that entire fight.
He was waiting for the Aegis.
He was waiting for the courier.
So that was the fight where they had Winter's Curse, where they were able to actually take that fight. Very
Great
well.
wall placement by Trixie as well.
Yeah, that was 12k gold deficit, but they were able to turn the fight with just their combo.
Still not looking great for them though. They give up our tier 3. The range rack's down to half health. Now S4 has the BKB, which had not been delivered until the end of that fight. Still feel like Alliance can just go for round 2.
Maybe they're waiting for an extra item from the Juggernaut. He has some unspent gold though. Yeah, but I agree. I think they can actually just brute force this with the BKB on the Shadow Fiend. But obviously the safest option is not that. It's always going to be
wait for Roche, yeah.
Wait for Roche or complete your next item. The Juggernaut has some unspent gold. But I still think that they're actually strong enough to go if they want.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing just like a Vlad's here to deal with a lot of the physical damage from the spend. Just something cheap that they can buy now. Even a pipe, but I guess nobody has quite the gold for that.
I actually like Moonshots or Skadi on Juggernaut. Like any sort of attack speed item would be nice on Juggernaut.
He is working towards the Skadi Loda, it looks like.
Yeah, he just
Stark in position. They want to try and burst down S4 before he can get off this BKB. Valix going to engage on him. Quick Winter's Curse. They back him back into the stun. A beautiful combo, but the snowball interrupts everything as S4 will get off the Requiem. This fight is on to Boogie. Now turning. Omni Slash finishing off Boogie practically. One more raise. The Death Ward was going, but he's almost kept alive the entire time by that Cold Embrace. They buy back almost instantaneously and look to counter-initiate here. Loda, slow down. Blade Fury and Glimmer Cape. Can he make it out? Looks like they lost vision of him. They'll take down Ake. 3 heroes dead, but it cost them a spend buyback, as well as a Lion. A double buyback for this. They back Loda, make it 4 dead. Well, we thought they might be able to take the base, WinteR, but again, they were denied. And with that lost fight, now Alliance are going to have to slow things down.
Yeah, that was still a really good combo setup for the Meteor plus the Sunstrike. It was so much damage and they got the Impale onto 2 heroes. The Snowball actually, even though it actually prolonged the fight a bit, but they already took a lot of damage from the Meteor.
And when S4 came out of the Snowball, he was like
300, 400.
3 or 4 seconds late to BKB. Well, not 3 or 4, like 1 or 2 seconds.
He was also like at 400 HP or 500 HP. He popped
and he
his
took
mech.
more damage before he got off the BKB.
He popped his mech and oh no, he's gonna get chased down by
Strike coming through and still hasted. Still should be fine. Wants the courier. Well, gotta be careful here, S4. God Strength cooling down. He'll pop the mech.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Trixie also retreating. Looks like he should be okay, but yep, down in the river where Nymphy is getting called out. Now the Mana Burn. And then the follow-up Carapace is there. Shards will corral him. Trixie wants to help. He gets the back, goes for the wall back, fails, and blinks out. Onto the high ground Sigil. We'll see him, but not able to stop that TP.
Yeah, at this point, I think they want to just wait for the next Roshan because they already took a lot of damage in terms of level-wise and economically-wise as well. So probably waiting for the next Roshan is the most secure move for Alliance now. Or maybe not. They're actually going to go again. with the Invoker down for the 30 seconds. And
looks like they want to force the buyback, but they might get caught trying to back away.
They have Blink Vacuum into Curse though. I don't know. It feels a bit dangerous now.
And as Stark want to greet them at the high ground, the stun comes through. It's on 2. Curse is there as well, trying to push S4 back and keep him safe. The snowball forward, Glimmer Cape on Loda. Great defensive play here from Alliance to turn this fight, and Boogie's going to go down the full duration Death Ward being channeled. Mostly just hitting Darkseer wall illusions, but they may have been able to hold here. Nymphy ended up having to buy back for this. That's another core recommitting to the fight. They clear out the illusions. Now they're on the right side of the wall to take another lane of Rax as the shards come out from Nuts. They think about hero kills, but in the end, the call is made for Alliance. Take the Rax, take objectives, smack Stark down while they're lacking their precious Sven, and they will get the melee. They're ranged as well to fall. Hunting, though, Nuts will pay. He kind of got caught on the sidelines of the fight. The Sigil is being hunted now. So Alliance at long last. They crack the base for 1 lane of Rax. Can they get the second? They know the wall's on cooldown. Vacuum now available, but what's he going to combo it with? Just the Lion stun, I suppose. Alliance running out of creeps in the bottom lane, though, so they may need to back away.
Yeah, and they are always pressuring the Sven. So the Sven actually couldn't reach the point where he's able to fight with his BKB. He never got the time to actually farm it.
Yeah, pretty big timing window. Meanwhile, you've had the BKB on S4. He's up to 3.3k gold. Let's see, what is he buying here?
Butterfly, probably.
No, he's getting AC, and that will go with Loda's Eye of Scotty, also nearly complete.
Oh, yes, the recipe. Okay.
So the next siege will be that much more difficult to deal with.
They should be able to close the game out with the next siege. I can't really imagine how Stark is going to hold against this. But again, the AC could actually work to Stark's favor if they're actually able to vacuum.
Oh, Tornado, along with the Deafening Blast combo, but S4 manages to get off his BKB, turns and looks to fight. Requiem on cooldown for 8 seconds. They're fighting before they have it. Okay, no mana for the Death Ward here, but the raise finishes off a retreating Trixie, and now trapped in the river is Nuts. Nymphy also kind of trapped and gets poked down. Boogie turns for Loda. Will get the kill in the Juggernaut, already having used his Omni Slash, though he doesn't care too much, and then the Death Ward from inside the Roche pit. Roche desperately trying to bash Ake, but it's too late. He did what he could for the Stark cause, as Boogie will boogie his way right through the wall and away to safety. Technically a mathematical win there as far as gold goes for Stark.
Ake was the hero of that fight, saving them again.
He was waiting for the Arcane Boots cooldown, and they finally cooled down about halfway through the fight. So Alliance will look for their next stage as they buy back the Darkseer. He's got a TP in. So Alliance want to back. No, it seems S4 is committed to this one. This could be trouble. Bulldog also trying to join the fight, but he's got a TP to the tier 2 mid, and they are now backing off S4. Retreating as Boogie rushes into the pit. Dead for 2.5 minutes on the buyback cooldown. Should he die again? Doesn't look like Alliance are in any hurry. They're content to wait for the team.
They can't do this without the God Strength. Oh my god.
And he doesn't have his BKB still, WinteR, lacking the recipe. Very dangerous time to move in.
This is their last ditch effort to salvage this game.
Sunstrike in the pit, won't find anyone. Stark still just skirmishing back and forth, but never fully committing, while Alliance get the whole 5-man squad into the position.
Yeah, it's dangerous to fight in the Roche area against the Stark lineup. I think you just wait for the creeps to push in, and they have to send someone back, right? And that's when the time you go for the Roche.
The creeps are pushing in on that note. They are going to commit Boogie in here, and what do? Do you blow the God Strength just to take the Roche? Then Alliance can clobber you in a team fight, and they are marching towards Boogie. Raze, number 1 comes out, and now they engage. Tornado through onto the Nyx Assassin, Deafening Blast, as well as a Meteor follow-up, trying to lock and burst. Bulldog down. Oh, there's the Deafening Blast. Now the Omni Slash comes through, and it bounces onto Nymphy. The counterplay from Trixie with the WinteR's Curse. It might be enough to turn this fight. Very well executed so far by Stark, but it seems they're lacking pure firepower as Ake just runs in onto 3 heroes up to the high ground. Lacking the team, though. Double buyback from Alliance. They know these Stark buybacks are on cooldown. They want to punish it. Nuts chasing forward. Looks like Stark should get away, but now they're in a lot of trouble, and Trixie will try to lead them on a merry-go-round chase, but Blake Walrus Punch going to prevent any kind of Blake escape, and Trixie will fall. Goes for the crazy back onto the molten lava poured into the Roche pit, but don't think you can even put heroes there.
If you can put heroes there, they will melt right away.
They all die instantly.
It should be an instant kill.
It would be like lemmings. And Alliance lead 22-14, about to grab their second Roshan. 14k gold lead. Stark have just been throwing bodies and buybacks at this game for too long. The item progression is simply non-existent.
Yeah, but you could see how much damage their combo would have done if they had a much better start, a much better game, where they are able to actually get more levels on the supports earlier.
They're definitely not a terrible team, and they are competitive. It just feels like Alliance is always one step slightly ahead of them in terms of farm, execution, and decision-making. I mean, we saw 4 Anchors heading into TI5 qualifiers as a team that actually was capable of taking games off of some of the top teams, even the likes of a Vega, or at the time a Na'Vi, who was one of the stronger teams in the qualifier and ultimately went on to win it. Boogie, though, gets put under now. Deathly Blast coming through, trying to keep their Sven alive, but the Death Ward's there. Zoning Ake with a big Death Ward attempt, but he will get vacuumed out of it. That's okay for Alliance, though. They want the Rex. They're going to get them. S4, BKB dodging a stun, and now Requiem right towards Alliance. Of course, Bulldog, just classic Bulldog. Forget about the Rex. He's just going to try and right-click the throne. He'll suicide for it, but at least he'll make his fans happy. A rat to the end, even when he's actually a cockroach.
Okay, 10 points. 10 points for that.
Thank you, my friend. Take those points. I'm going to need them for the days ahead. Now loaded with the Omni Slash engaging. It's bouncing around. Too much damage here, and they'll curse Loda, but Nuts and Ake unable to finish him off. S4 cleaning up the back lines, and now moving forward. A double kill for S4. GG is called, and Stark get run over here. En route to an Alliance 2-0 sweep. They stay alive in the Summit 4, and with this, we bid adieu to Team Stark. They are knocked out of the lower bracket, and they will not have a chance to come to the LAN finals.
Sayonara. Stark. I mean, they were the weaker team, though. It was clear in the series that Alliance were much better in most of the departments, like in every department, you could say.
Felt like the movement was more efficient. The warding game was a bit stronger. The laning stage was better. Just all across the board, Alliance was just a little bit more comfortable and ahead of Stark.
They didn't even have a bad draft both the games. I felt like their lineup could actually work if they sort of had a better execution or better decision making, and overall just a ship without a pilot or a ship without a captain. Their captain has been lost.
It's a ship with no master. Who can set it aright, WinteR? Who will it be?
They need to look for the next Jerax or Matumba, man. They didn't really feel the void.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, they didn't feel the void when both of those players left the team.
Well, this is going to wrap up our first series, guys. Coming up in, I think it's like an hour or so, hour and 20 minutes, actually, unless the match starts early, we will have Liquid versus Vega, WinteR. That's a pretty big match.
And in the meantime, time for a pub.
All right, WinteR's going to pub, guys, so maybe he'll stream it if,
Just kidding.
if you're lucky. So this will be a winner bracket match coming up. Winner of this match is guaranteed into the top 3, which means they only need to win one more series from there to come to the LAN finals, as we will have 2 teams qualifying from Europe. So Liquid versus Vega, big match, guys. That'll get started in about an hour and 20 minutes. This one was very fast, so that's why we have the break. Thanks for watching this Summit 4. We'll be back in a bit.